About Association of Indian Management Schools? It's a 34-year-old networking body of B schools in India, having a membership of about 600 top management institutions. AIMS focuses on professionalization of management education, protects interests of B schools, represents management institutions at national and international forums, financially supports members in academic events, funds research projects on management, disseminates management-related knowledge through its annual Management Education Convention, conferences, seminars, roundtables and workshops, organizes free weekly webinars on knowledge sharing and inspiring young leaders sessions for management faculty and students, supports B schools in admissions through Atma, AIMS test for management admissions. Visit https://atmaims.com for more details. Publishes a biannual AIMS Journal of Management. Visit https://aimsjournal.com for more details. Circulates a quarterly e-newsletter on AIMS activities. Conducts workshops on case writing. Encourages AIMS members to be part of decision-making processes as members of chapter management committees and the executive board. Encourages students' participation in free weekly quiz competitions by providing support to interested institutions. Facilitates networking and interaction among B schools. Why would you like to remain a non-member of AIMS? Pay a very low one-time membership fee and enjoy many lifetime benefits. Visit https://aims.org.in for more details.
Good afternoon and welcome you all for this knowledge sharing session on data analytics in business decision making. As we all know, every business is very crucial and decision making is far more crucial on that. So how can we go ahead with the right kind of decision? And the data analytics is one of the tools which is going to be helpful for every business to go ahead and take the right decision. Right? Myself, Dr. Bhushan Pednekar from Sri Balaji University. I welcome you all on the behalf of AIMS. Along with me, Dr. Priyanka Mishra, madam is there. I'll just brief about herself on that. Madam is her working associate professor in Sri Balaji University, Pune. Madam is also having a rich experience of 17 years in academic and specifically in the research domain area. And again, the key area related in the business analytics part. Madam is again well known in this field in the data analytics and well known in the using the softwares like SPSS, MS, and Tableau. About the education part, Madam has completed PhD in HRM and MBA in HRM and marketing. So dual specialization is there. Madam also do have almost 7 years of the wide experience, specifically in the corporate, where she has been working as a trainer also, and she has conducted a lot of training programs during those period of time. She also conferred with the Outstanding Faculty Award in HR and Analytics at 6th Asia Africa Award of Excellence managed by Council of Sustainable Peace and Development, Government of India. I welcome you, Priyanka ma'am, for this session on that. Before going ahead, I just want to give you a few instructions on that. One of the first part is that the participant cannot be able to unmute themselves. If they have any questions, they can put it in the Zoom chat box and will be taken in the question and answer session at the end. Another one is that all the feedback, attendance link will going to be shared in the question and answer session and is available only for 15 minutes at the end. So those will fill those feedback form, they will get the certificate for that. Now I request Dr. Priyanka Mishra to take it further and enlightening the different aspects of the data analytics in the business decision making. Welcome you back.
Thank you, Bhushan sir. Good afternoon, everybody. We are very delighted to see such a good number of participants. So I hope that I can do justice for all your time that you have devoted for this 1 hour session. So without wasting any more time, let us begin. So welcome you all to the knowledge sharing session on data analytics in business decision making. Myself, Dr. Priyanka Mishra, and my moderator, Dr. Bhushan Pednekar. We welcome you all to this knowledge sharing session with you, session on data analytics in business decision making. So before we go to the data analysis in business decision making, we should first understand that what exactly an organization look forward to. What is the basic purpose of any organization? It may be in any sector, in any field. What is the basic objective of any organization? The basic objective of any organization is two things. One is maximization and minimization. So what maximization and what minimization? So we have to understand that either the organization look forward to maximizing something or the organization is looking forward to minimizing something. So when we talk about maximization, it talks about maximization of wealth, maximization of profit, maximization of productivity, maximization of the efficiency of the people, maximization of the growth, maximization of revenue. So these maximization of all these things the organization expects from its own point of view. And at the same time, the organization also expects that they should minimize something. What they will minimize? They will minimize the attrition rate. They will minimize the cost. They will minimize the inefficiencies of the people. They will minimize the wastage. So the organization either look forward to minimizing something or they look forward to maximizing something. So keeping these two objectives in mind, the organization always strives towards achieving these two objectives all the time. So how the organization will be able to achieve these two objectives? It is not happening without a backup of any kind of a data or without backup of any kind of a logic. So the basic objective of the organization to solve or to achieve the basic objective of the organization, that is maximization of something or minimization of something, the organization needs to get backed up with some kind of a logic, with some kind of a data. Okay, so that is what is our basic framework based on which the entire concept of today's discussion is going to be based upon. Okay, so what is the importance of data and analytics from the organization's point of view? Now we all from our childhood, we have been, learning about what is data, what is information. From the very schooling, we have been taught about what is the difference between data and what is information. Okay, but still when we discuss amongst people, we find that there is a lot of discrepancies in the ideas when it comes to these terminologies. So I have in front of you 4 terminologies, that is data, information, knowledge, and business insights. So our main objective is to understand the business insights that will be derived from the data. So let us understand what is data, what is information, what is knowledge, and what is business insights. Now, for example, I will start from the backward integration. Let me first fix up an objective about what is my insight is all about. Okay. Now, for example, I want to allocate a project to some of my employees. A client has requested, one of my client, international client has given me a project, and the client wants that I should comply to the project requirements and deliver the completed project to the client on a certain deadline. Now, suppose this is what is my target and this is what my business is looking forward to. Okay, so if I'm able to comply to the requirements of my client, then the client is going to give me a hefty sum of amount, and my company's profit will be based upon that. Now, so this is what is my objective. In order to understand or in order to, comply to the requirements of my client, what I will see that who can work together and deliver this kind of compliances to my client. So I need to formulate a team. Okay, so I need to formulate a team which can comply to these kind of compliances of the client. In order to formulate the team, where I will go to, I will have to understand which people in my organization who are already there are going to be a part of that team. So what will be basis of my decision? This is the decision that I'm taking. So ultimately what we are trying to do, we are trying to take some decisions. We are trying to form a team. I want to understand which are the people who are going to be a part of that particular team. In order to do that, I will first go and churn out the data that is there in my employee database. So when I go and look into my employee database, I start beginning with the first step, that is the data. Now, when I enter into the employee database, now the employee database is something that is called as a raw data. That the definition that we have learned from the childhood was data is something that is raw and information is something that is processed. Okay, so this is what is the general definition that we have learned from our childhood. So when I'm going and searching the employee data, so the thing that is in front of me is a huge database of multiple rows and columns. Okay, so when I'm seeing the multiple rows and columns data, is just nothing but a raw data for me right now. So if I am utilizing the entire database, I am not coming out in any kind of conclusion. So what I will do, in order to find out which people will be requiring for me to be a part of that team, which is going to comply to the client requirement, I will have to see that what all information or what all columns of the data I should be focusing upon in order to, create a team from that database. First of all, I have to see that which department people I need to understand or I need for this particular project requirement. First point is which department. Second point is what should be the skill set of the employees that are needed to comply to the client's requirement. Okay. Third thing is that, is there any location specificity that is required for my team members to be, located in a certain place, or it can be over a digital medium. So that is point number 3. Then fourth is, what are the basic qualification and what are the basic degrees that my employees are having, which is suiting to the requirements of the project. Okay, so these are certain data that I would need to comply to my project requirement. Okay, so when out of a big database, when I churn out or when I, mine certain in data from that particular database, so that I called it as an information. Because these are out of, let's say, maybe there will be some 50 to 60 columns of data and thousands of rows of data. From the entire 50 to 60 column of data, I have just mined, 4 to 5 columns of the data that is requiring for my project. Okay, so when I am retrieving those data from this a big database, I am actually deriving some information out of that data. And when I process that information, when I analyze that information using some kind of tools and techniques, then I transfer that information to some kind of a knowledge. And after that knowledge I derive, I identify, let's say in the database of 5,000 employees, I derive a set of, let's say, 100 people whom I think are suitable to, become a team which can comply to this project requirements. So when I churn this data of 100 people out of a data of 5,000 people, so that is what I am getting some kind of a knowledge. As you know, these people can be utilized in some way in order to meet to my business insights or my business requirement. And what is my business requirement? My business requirement is that to create a team which will comply to the requirements of the project to meet and to deliver it to the client on a certain date and time. Okay, so this is what is my business insight. For that, how am I going to my data? How am I retrieving the exact amount of information from my data? How I'm transferring it to a knowledge process is all that a data analyst will do. Okay, so this is how, this is the linkage between the data to the analytics, because data present, having the data itself in the organization will not solve the purpose until and unless it is properly utilized to do some kind of a business decision. Otherwise, that data has got no use. So this is the main objective that we should understand from the business point of view, that why data is so much important for any kind of decision making. Okay, going forward, also along with the data, there are multiple kind of ways how we can, see the data, how we can, get the knowledge from the data. There are multiple ways. So when we have the data, there are different ways how you can play with the data. So data is nothing but it is a fun game for people who are called as analysts. Okay, so if you know how to play with the data, so you can play it in different manner. One of the way how you can play with the data is using the visualization aspect. For example, look at the sales report below. A company has branches in 4 cities, and each branch changes the production price every month. So this is the, these are the different locations of a company, and this is the sales report. And every month the sales price is changing, and accordingly the sales data is also changing every month. This leads to a corresponding change in the sales. Here is the performance of the 4 branches with their monthly price and sales for each month. Okay. Just a minute. So here is the performance of the 4 branches with the monthly price and sales for each month. So you have this price, you have the sales in Bangalore, in Delhi, in Hyderabad, or in Mumbai. Okay. So if you see the price in the month of January in Bangalore is 10, in Delhi it is 10, in Hyderabad it is 10, and in Mumbai it is 10. And if you just look at if you look at the average values of Bangalore, Delhi, Hyderabad, and Mumbai, you will see that the average is almost same. Looking at the averages, the 4 branches have identical performance, isn't it? So if you just find out the average of the price and the sales of all the cities, when you find out the average, you will see that the average is coming almost equal. So can you make an interpretation that if the averages are coming equal, so all the cities are performing in the similar level? So I'm asking you this question. Can you say that, like if the averages are same across all the cities in different months, in different sales, in different price and different sales figure, so is this what that we can interpret that all the cities are performing very well? Now, looking at the average figure, you will say that yes. You will say yes. So here, where is the problem actually arises? Only by looking at the average. Now, average is a mathematical calculation. Okay. And the basic and the foremost thing that we actually do for any kind of a basic analysis is calculating the mean average. Okay. So, but if you see here in this table, you will see that the averages are almost same. Can you be very sure that because the averages are same, the cities are performing equally? Now, I will say the answer is no. Why? I'll take you to the next slide for that. You see, if I'm plotting a scatter dot of the same, data that I have, so this is the sales versus price, sales versus price, sales versus price, and all the 4 cities. Okay. So in fact, the 4 cities are totally different in behavior. You see that when you are plotting a graph, you see that different kinds of graphs are being generated when it comes to the sales performance in relation to the varying price indexes. Okay. So if you see, Bangalore sales have generally increased with the price. If you see Bangalore, the sales is increasing from this scatter plot. When you come to Hyderabad, Hyderabad has nearly a perfect increase in sales with price except for one aberrations. Okay. So what they are almost in that, this trend line, and they are almost all the sales point are falling on the trend line. So they have a perfect increase in sales. Here there is increase in sales, but little bit diversion is there. Except for this one point, otherwise the rest of the data is following a perfect increase in sales in Hyderabad. Then coming to Delhi, you see in Delhi shows a decline in sales beyond a price of 10. So till 10, still, maybe it is 10 rupees or something like that. So till 10 rupees, the price is increasing. And from 10 rupees, when the price is again increasing, you can see in Delhi, there is a declining in the sales. Okay. Whereas in Mumbai, sales fluctuate despite a nearly constant price. So at one constant price, the sales is increasing or decreasing. Okay. The sales figure has been constant. The price has been constant, but still the sales figure is increasing and decreasing. Okay. So from these 4 tables, you can see that in spite of having a similar averages, still you can see that the graphical representation or the visualization of the statistic will show a different picture. So that is why, when we actually do some kind of analysis, the analysis involves multiple aspects. Okay. One is quantitative data. One is qualitative data. One is visualization. Okay. So all these aspects has to together come into to make some proper analysis about the data that you are having. So one of this aspects that I've shown you is visualization. So visualization will make you read all those things that you may not be able to see in the figures. So figures, when you see the data tables, when you see the figures and numbers, you may not be able to find out that much of clarity, what clarity you will get in the visualization pictures. Okay, so this is more clarified and this is more visually interpreted, and it is easy to understand. Okay, this is one aspect. Okay, so when you are taking the data, you are using some tools and techniques, and you are going to get the business insights. So there are basically 4 types of data analytics that we actually focus upon. First one is we have a descriptive data analytics. We have diagnostic, which is also called as diagnostic or inferential. Then we also call that predictive, and the 4th one is prescriptive. So basically, when we are doing a data analysis, the data analysis basically goes through these 4 stages. Okay, in the first stage, we do a descriptive analytics. Okay, so when we do a descriptive analytics, it involves what? It involves the central tendency, which consists of the mean, median, mode. It involves the dispersion, which talks about the standard deviation, variance. Then when we talk about the frequency, it talks about the percentages, percentile, and the total number, if the count and all those things. So when you talk about the descriptive statistics, it talks about the the variability, the central tendency, and the frequency. Okay, these are the basic information that you will get under the descriptive statistics. So which is what also even the visualization will also come as a part of the descriptive statistics. So comprehensive, accurate, and live data. So whatever is there, you are just trying to see the nature of the data. So like how many people are there in the audience? What is the total number? What is the percentage of the people out of the total? So all this kind of data that you derive is from the descriptive statistics. So this is the first and foremost step of doing any kind of data analytics. So first you go for descriptive statistics. Once you are done with the descriptive part, then you come to the diagnostic. In diagnostic, you exactly try to understand that why this data is there, what kind of interpretation it is bringing out. So the different kind of analysis that we do under diagnostic are, your t-tests, your ANOVAs, your one-way ANOVA, two-way ANOVAs, and all those kind of analysis you do under diagnostic tests or diagnostic analytics. Then coming to the predictive. Predictive means what is likely to happen in the future. So business strategies have remained fairly consistent over time. Historical patterns, decisions using algorithms and technologies. So all these kind of things, what will happen? Looking at your historical data, looking at your current data, you can be able to understand what is going to happen in the future. So you will say that, are we some kind of, astrologer that we are trying to predict the future? But yes, if you have a relevant data, if you are backed up with, right kind of a data, you can predict the future. So for prediction of the future, you can have different kind of analysis like regression, multiple regression. There are multiple kinds of regression like logistics regression, discriminant analysis. So there are multiple kind of analysis are there, which will lead you to do some kind of a prediction for the future. Okay. Then after that, the prescriptive analysis. After you come out with the predictive part, then you should understand what will happen in the prescriptive part. So that predictive means something that, like if I will explain you in the terms of a doctor trying to identify your disease. So when you go to a doctor, the doctor will diagnose you. The doctor will try to ask you that what has happened, what are the symptoms, and what is these things and all these things. So the doctor will identify that from this particular kind of a systems, what kind of a disease that you are, you must have been affected with, or, you are going to get affected with. So the doctor is doing some kind of a predictive analysis with the kind of symptoms after the diagnosis are done. So the doctor is analyzing some kind of a, hazard that is going to come to your health. So considering those hazards, the doctor will prescribe some medicines to you, or the doctor will prescribe some kind of a surgery to you. The doctor will say that considering your current situation, considering the, problems that I'm forcing in your symptoms that can come ahead. So let us, take these precaution measures, and you eat this kind of medicines, or you take or you go for this kind of a surgery, so that in the future you will not have any kind of a problem related to these all symptoms. So that what the doctor is giving a prescriptive. In case of a business setup, what we consider as a prescriptive, these are the different strategies. Now, suppose a company is anticipating from its past data that if they are adopting a particular kind of initiative in the organization, that is leading to a lot of attrition in the organization. So you suppose you have introduced some kind of initiative in the organization by which the employees are not happy in the organization, and as a result of which, you are predicting that maybe in the next year there a lot of attrition might happen if we continue with this kind of an initiative. So what you should understand that this will lead to something very unpleasant. So what will I need to do? I need to remodify my strategy. So when you're talking about prescriptive, it is that how are you going to modify your strategies? How are you going to take corrective actions so that your future unpleasant consequences do not happen. Okay, so that is what exactly we do in prescriptive analytics. So if we, as a data analyst, if you are able to do this 4 steps effectively, then your company is in the right hands, or your company is going in the right direction. Because if any company is taking decisions without getting a backup from the data, then the company will not survive for a longer period of time, because the company cannot rely on gut feeling or on gray hair decision making. So the company cannot, focus on these cannot rely on these kind of decisions. Any company who is backed up by these all processes, then only the company can sustain for a longer period of time, and that is proven. Okay, so I'll just take you that which are this thing that I was just discussing. So under descriptive, what all statistical procedures and calculations are involved, and what kind of visualization tools are involved under each of the kind of analytics. So under descriptive, as I have already told you, we have central tendency, which talks about the averages, means, median, mode. The measures of dispersion, which talks about range, mean deviation, quartile deviation, standard deviation, counts, ratio, trends, etc. Okay. Then under diagnostics, we have t-tests, ANOVA, correlation, regressions, cross tabulations, chi-square, factor analysis, correspondence analysis, etc. Under predictive also, we have regression, curvilinear regression, logistics regression, ridge regression, partial least squares, discriminant analysis, decision tree, random forest, naive bayes, etc. Under prescriptive, you have different kind of operation research tools, mathematical models like LPP, and etc. Under visualization of descriptive, what all things you can do under descriptive statistics, you can have histograms, pie charts, line charts, area charts, frequency distributions, etc. Under diagnostic, you can create scattergrams, regression plots, plots of residuals, box plots, etc. Under predictive, you can have line charts, scatter diagrams, correlation plots, then decision trees, ROC curves, AUC curves, confusion matrix, etc. So these are all advanced level of analytics. Like if you are going for machine learning tools and all, R programming and all, then you will be able to perform all these kind of visualizations, as well as all these kind of analytical tools, that all the tests that I have just shown you, everything is possible with advanced softwares and all. Okay, so these are the things that are there under data analysis and visualization tools. So when it comes to business, I will take you now to, in different domain of the business, how the analytics is used. Why I have chosen this particular aspect to discuss today is that, many of us who are either working in corporate, or they like, I am an educationist, Dr. Bhushan Pednekar is also an educationist. Like I am sure that many of the people who have joined today are also either from the corporate or from the education industry, or students maybe. So, basically we have a stereotype idea in our mind is that, people from a certain field of study, do not are not very comfortable in data analytics, or are not very pro in statistics or analytics, or all of those things, or something is not made for certain field. So here I will just break your stereotype, and I will show you that how in each and every domain of business, data analytics is a major part, and how it helps in different kinds of decision making in all domains of management. Okay, so first of all, let me take you key when we talk about data in business. What are data in means what kind of data actually we play with, or what kind of data actually are of use for a business analyst. Okay, so one is the customer related data. So anything related to customer is also a data. Okay, like the customer's name, the customer's email ID, the phone numbers, demographic data of the customers like gender, income, basic customer data points, etc., etc. So anything related to the customer is a data. Second one, what is a transactional data? Common examples of transactional data are invoices, payroll, subscriptions, returns that the company engages in day-to-day businesses and all. Any kind of a transaction that the company does is also a data. Data from social media. Social media data will help you understand your audiences by analyzing the social media posts, the shares, the comments. Some common examples of social media data are reviews, likes, shares, URL links, etc. Okay, so these are the things that in daily day-to-day life we just use it, and we like a video, we just click a like button. We happen to see a lot of reels today, everyday basis. Like you just open up any of your social media, there are a lot of content that is available on social media. Remember, for a social media analyst, these are all nothing called as data. For analysts, these are data. For us, this is a source of entertainment. But for an analyst, these are nothing but these are data. Okay, so data from social media, data from any kind of a transaction that the company made, data from any customer who is associated with you, everything is data. Marketing data, some common examples of marketing data is return on marketing investment, customer service rating, industry benchmarking data, competitive intelligence, etc. Then continued in internal employees data are employees experience, skill sets, project details, etc. Product related data, common product data are product category, image, description, etc. Sales data can be year over year growth, revenue, market penetration, etc. So anything that the company is surrounded with, and each and everything that the company does, everything is data. When that particular data will be used in which particular context, we have no idea about it. Okay, so you should always preserve whatever you are doing on a daily day-to-day basis. Everything should be preserved, because each and every information that the company generates at any point of time can play the role of a prospective data in some kind of a decision making. So it is very important that you need to preserve the data. Okay, which we call it as data warehousing. Okay, now the first thing that we are going to discuss over here, what is the role of analytics in marketing? Now, I'll just take you ahead with my slides just to show that what all things I have in my discussion today. I'm going to show you about what is the role of analytics in marketing, then what is the role of analytics in retail, then what is the role of analytics in HR, then operations. So these are the things that I'm going to tell you now. So first one, what is the role of analytics in marketing? So you must have heard about these kind of terminologies like cluster analysis or RFM analysis, like recency, frequency, and monetary analysis, multidimensional scaling, which we call it as perceptual mapping, conjoint analysis, product intelligence. These are certain things that you must have actually heard about it. You must be thinking that these are very complex calculations, and this is not our cup of tea. So let me tell you, anything that has not been tried till now is always difficult. Once you try your hands on these things, automatically it will start getting easier for us. Okay, so because you can be a part of any particular domain in the management in the organization. So if you know these kind of things, automatically you will be able to have a hands-on all these kind of techniques and tools. So for segmentation purpose, particularly, we use cluster analysis and RFM because it is a way to figure out who your most valuable customers are. For example, a customer who spent $1,000 3 times in last month is a lot more valuable customer than who spent rupees $100 once in February last year. So you need to you can use this cluster analysis and RFM analysis to actually categorize your customer, as you know, which is my loyal customer, which is my most preferred customer, which is my most prospective customer. Whom can I target to? Whom can I focus upon? So by doing this cluster analysis and RFM analysis, you can go for customer segmentation. Similarly, for positioning, you can go for multidimensional scaling or perceptual mapping. For product design analysis, you can go for conjoint analysis. Product intelligence done by speaking to consumers, polling target audiences, or engaging them with surveys, organizations can better understand the differentiators and competitive advantages of their products. Okay. Then some of the customer trends and preferences, what messages, creative resonates with them, which products are they buying and which they have researched in the past, which ads are they leading to conversions and which are ignored. What are the customer trends and preferences? Product development trends. Analytics can also offer insights into the type of products, features consumer wants. Marketing teams can pass this information on to product development for future iterations. Customer support. Analytics also help in uncover areas of the buyer's journey that could be simplified and improved. Advertising and sales promotion, messaging and media, competition, predicting future results. So for all these purposes, starting from the segmenting, positioning, targeting, to product design, to analyzing the customer trends and preferences, to analyzing the product development trends, to analyzing the customer support, analyzing the advertisement, sales promotion, messages, media, competition, and predicting the future result of your products. All these kind of aspects will be used for marketing analytics. Now you must be thinking, what does marketing analytics people actually do? They actually do these kind of things. So from the very beginning and the starting concept of segmenting, targeting, positioning to predicting the future results. So all this kind of gamut of activities the marketing analytics people actually do. Similarly, what is the retail people do? They do consumer buying behavior trends. They analyze that. They do the market basket analysis, scenario analysis, geospatial analytics. So these are the different kind of analytics that they do in retail analysis. Then this is one example of market basket. I'll just go to HR. Role of analytics in HR. Okay, what do the HR people do? Now, this is a very undermined, domain in the management. Like, HRs are made for, all kind of non-mathematical jobs. Okay, right. So, and we discuss a lot about the, inefficiency of the HR into something that called as logical and line-oriented jobs. So we always discuss about these kind of things. Let me tell you that what is the role of analytics in HR? Okay, if you just start looking at the topics that I have put in here. So these are what the recruitment metrics. So what kind of analytics role HR plays? So HR also plays a very, very major role in terms of, the strategic business function, in terms of playing the role of a strategic business function. So the HR has got different kind of metrics to analyze the productivity of the organization and the future growth of the organization. So how much to fill up, what time to hire, cost per hire, turnover rate, which talks about the recruitment metrics, diversity metrics. So what is the workforce diversity index, gender mix, differently abled index, then talent metrics, retention index, voluntary, involuntary turnover, voluntary by departments, grades, performance, many things, learning and development metrics, percentages of employee trained, internally and externally trained, training hours, cost per employee, ROI calculation, internal mobility metrics, people deployment metrics, HR cost metrics, HR KPI dashboard, then HR predictive analytics. Okay, so these are the different kind of analytical role that the HR analysts play in the organization. Okay, coming to the next one, That is the role of analytics in operations. So what do the operation guys do? They do the forecasting of the future trends, the time series analysis, which involves moving averages, regression data trends, seasonality, cyclicity, random variations, etc. This is particularly for time series analysis. Then optimization models like linear programming problem, networking optimization like transportation models, assignment models, critical path method, project evaluation review techniques, etc. Decision in uncertain settings, simulating uncertain outcomes, and all these kind of things. So what do the operation guys do? They do these kind of things. Then what is the role of analytics in healthcare industry? So research and prediction of diseases, automation of hospital administrative process, early detection of diseases, prevention of unnecessary doctor's visits, discovery of new drugs, more accurate calculation of health insurance rates, more effective sharing of patients' data, personalization of patients' care. These are the different gamut of activities that they do under the analytics in healthcare industry. Similarly, a role of analytics in financial management. So what do they do? Predictive sales analytics, correlation analysis or past trends to forecast corporate sales. Client profitability analytics helps differentiate between clients who make money for a company and those who don't. Product profitability analytics, cash flow analytics, value-driven analytics, shareholder value analytics, and many of those things. So these are the certain, the role or the analytics in finance, financial analysts, they do all these kind of jobs being in the financial management field. Then the role of analytics in supply chain management. So what do they do in supply chain? Advanced demand forecasting in inventory management, prevent downtime in manufacturing, increase storage efficiency in warehousing, real-time transportation tracking, good shortage prevention at point of sale. So these are some of the analytics benefit in supply chain businesses. You can see that, what all things supply chain can actually do wonders for the business. It can help in improvement in customer service and demand fulfillment, faster and effective reaction time to supply chain issues, increase in supply chain efficiency of 10% or greater integration across the supply chain, optimizing of inventory and asset productivity, better customer and supply relationship, and so forth. So these are the kind of benefits that the supply chain business can actually gain through using analytics. One example. Now I will take you to the effect of this analytics in the job field, like how the jobs in India and abroad, how it is likely dependent upon the data analysis, and what is the job market of data analysis in India as well as in abroad. Okay, so a 30% surge in data analytics and data science jobs in India. According to a report in the Hindu's business line, analytics and data science jobs saw a rise of 30% from April to 2021 to April 2022. After all, the period from March 2022 to April 2020 to April 2022 saw a massive 73.5% increase in open jobs in the same category. India is also a leading player in this segment, home to 11.6% of all open jobs in data science and analytics, a 2.2% increase from the last year. And when it comes to experience levels, freshers are the most in demand. There are a whooping of 70K entry-level open jobs on LinkedIn. Okay, so if you say that, the employment is not there in the country, or, the job market is very down, I do not agree to this particular fact, because why the job market is down? The job market is down for people who are inefficient and who are unskilled. So for us, for today's industry 4.0 scenario, unskilled means if you are not technically upgraded with your skill sets. So if you are just having a mere qualification or a degree, will not lead you to a job. If you are not technically skilled, if you are not having a proper knowledge about the data, how to play with the data, then you do not have any jobs in the market. So if you can see the statistics, there are ample of jobs in the market. But only thing is that you have to make yourself upgraded and suitable enough to get those kind of jobs that are available in the market. So because the industry is changing, so the dynamics of the industry and the selection criteria for the industries will also change at the same time. So we have to be very, very prepared for that. So these are also some of the statistics that are there related to the jobs in India and abroad. So these are some of the statistics that is there. You can see that 1,79,470 open jobs were available at the time of the reporting of second week of April 2022, and in February 2022 it was 1,80,468. Okay, so these are some kind of, I just don't want to read the entire thing because it will be too cliche for reading the entire this thing. If required, I will share this PPT to you all so that you can have a look at it. So these are some of the data, statistics that are there related to the job market of data analytics profession. Okay, so this continues for, I'll just read out this particular paragraph. Bangalore continues to create a maximum share of jobs, 28.5 for all analytics and data science position in India in 2022. In terms of absolute numbers, open jobs have gone up from 38,474 in 21 to 51,149 in 22, a growth of 32.59% on a year-to-year basis. Okay, in Delhi, NCR as the second largest city in terms of share of open jobs, the number of jobs is 34,200 in 22, which is 7,861 higher than the posted jobs in 21. Similarly, Mumbai is the third largest city with regard to share of open jobs. The number of jobs increased to 23,591 in 2022 from 16,824 in 2021. Similarly, I have data for Hyderabad, then other metropolitan cities like Chennai, Pune. So all these, looking at all these figures, actually, we can come to a conclusion that there is a great scope in the field of analytics, and people who are actually willing to enter into this kind of domain should actually try their hands into, and they will have a very great future. So ultimately, what are the benefits of data-driven organizations? Data-driven organizations are 23x more likely to acquire customers, 6x more likely to retain them, and 19x more likely to be profitable. Plus, the average ROI for companies leveraging data analytics and business intelligence is a whopping 1,300%. At the forefront of this drive to maximize data will be professional, well-versed in data analytics and its tools. So this is what we have already discussed before. And today I will be talking this much only about, because in 40 minutes of time, this is the overview that I think I could give. But if Ames would like, then for each of the tools and techniques that I have shared for the data analytics and all, because to make you understand about each of the tools and techniques, we need to have separate sessions, not only 1 hour. We need to have minimum 2 hours or 3 hour session to explain one particular tool. So if we can likely arrange some kind of this kind of a workshop maybe in the future, then we can do that. But 40 minutes is very less time to explain the details about each and every tools that we discussed. So this is just an overview, and to share that how data analytics is actually applicable in different domains of management and in business decision making. So this is what is from my side. Then these are some useful tools in data analytics. So the tools that are used to store the data are SQL, MongoDB, MySQL, Oracle, RDBMS. Then the data transformation tools are Excel, Python, R language, Apache. Then data modeling tools are like Skitlearn, TensorFlow, Weka, Apache Spark. Data modeling tools in visualizations are Tableau, Power BI, Microsoft Excel, R, Python language. See, the gamut of knowledge is like a universe. So how far we are able to learn all these tools are depending upon our dedication into this kind of learnings. So even if I will say from my side, I am also not an expert in all these tools that I am displaying it on my slide. I have a very good knowledge about some of the tools that are there. But in order to learn, so learning is a universe. So you can learn as much as you want. So the learning process should always go on for you as well as for me. So thank you for today. That's it.
Yes, thank you, Priyanka, ma'am. I request participants to, they can share their questions. I can see one question is there from Dr. Asha Sharma. And ma'am, question is that can you please elaborate upon how analytics can be used in financial data analysis? So that's the question of that.
In financial data analysis?
Yeah.
So financial data, this is finance itself is a number oriented domain, and finance has got a lot of functions itself. So we can talk about stock market. So if I give you example about the stock market, okay, so we have a daily fluctuations of the rates of the stock happening every day. Like if you are into the stock market, this thing and all, so you will see that there is a daily fluctuation of the stocks and its prices and all these things. So what kind of an analysis that the stock marketers they do to determine that which company's stock is going to rise maybe tomorrow, and which company is going to fall, which price is going to fall, and all these kind of predictions that they do. Like if you ask these financial advisors, they will be able to tell you that you invest in this kind of a stock. This is going to rise, in a day or two, or you don't invest in this kind of a stock. How do the financial advisors are able to give you this kind of an advice? And this kind of advice, they are not doing out of some kind of, some gyan or something that they evolve while sleeping. It doesn't happen like that. They do a trend analysis, which is called as a time series analysis. So I was just showing you during the financial thing, like they do this, ARIMA models, this cyclicity, seasonality. These are different kind of, time series analysis that they do. And from this time series analysis, they predict that what is going to be the rate of the stock in the future, or maybe in the next month. So they can do that. So analysis tools are made to predict the future, what is going to happen to these kind of stocks and all. Similarly, in all different domains of the finances, also in financial management. So if you're doing a portfolio investment, so what kind of portfolio you should actually invest? So you look at all the market trends, which companies are investing in which kind of portfolios, where all it is actually doing. You study the different competitors, you do a competitor analysis, you do the market analysis, then you come to an understanding that, where actually you should actually invest and where your company is actually giving you profits. So there are different types of decisions, particularly nothing, but it is all about decision making. So if you have something in your mind you want to go for a merger and acquisition, okay, will you go for a merger and acquisition? You have to have a backup data for that. Key, I have to understand what is the situation of that particular company which I'm going to acquire. So all these kind of analysis you have to do for even if finances is the base, because finance is all about numbers, and it is easy to rather get data in financial analysis. It is rather difficult to get data in marketing and HR, because in marketing and HR, everything is about sentiments. Everything is about what people feel. In finances, it is very easy because everything you get it in forms of numbers. Getting the numbers, very easy to analyze, but getting it in the form of expressions, sentiments, and opinions, that is very difficult, because, and that is where your qualitative analysis actually come into the picture.
Okay, all right. We can move on to the next question. But before moving ahead, the feedback link already shared in the meeting chat. Requesting you all to kindly fill that. We can move to the next question. That is from Dr. S. Kavita. And her question is, what is your advice for students to prepare themselves for analytics career?
Yeah, students, first of all, let me tell you that me and Bhushan sir, we are actually working in an educational institution, that is Sri Balaji University. And what we do for our students, let me tell you. First of all, you have to make your students little bit research oriented. So the old style of schooling should be actually avoided now. And you should be making your students more of a research oriented. To make the students more research oriented, you have to actually introduce certain courses which will lead the students towards research. Okay. So as a result of which they will automatically learn the tools and all. Okay. So you have to make the students learn the tools and attach some credits to those courses which are making them learn the tools. So I particularly feel that instead of having subjects like a consumer behavior, which is a very cliche subject, instead of having subjects like those kind of things, you can actually make the students learn about marketing analytics. By reading marketing analytics, they will automatically understand consumer behavior, because the matrices that will involve in marketing analytics is nothing but the matrices that you are being taught in consumer behavior. So we should rather modify our courses and introduce the students such kind of a courses that will lead them to by default study these kind of tools and techniques, and automatically they will learn these skills. And getting a degree is not important. Learning the skill is important. So we will have to make it. And if you're a deemed or a private university, you have the flexibility to, make up or create courses out of your own choice. If you are affiliated to some university, then we have very less privileges, or we have very less liberty to do these kind of things. But if you are, having a private or a deemed university status, then you have got a lot of liberty to design things which will actually suit to the market requirements. So that is what we can do actually.
Right. We can move to the next question, and that is from Mr. Vikas. So he's asking that, Madam, can you give an example or explanation? How is analytics used in e-commerce? So that's the interesting one.
Okay. So e-commerce analytics is nothing but social media analytics. Okay. So if you are selling a product on the e-commerce website, so you will have to actually understand your customer perception, customer loyalty, the brand preferences, then the customer sentiments, then the product innovation that is required in your product. Everything you can get an idea from the, just a minute, I'll just switch on my, all this kind of, the testimonials that the customer gives, or the, product feedback. And after using the product also, when they put a picture of it and they give their score, as in, they give the rating of the product and all. So these are the data that is actually used for you to analyze. For doing a social media analytics, we actually use a qualitative data analysis tool, not quantitative, but we use a qualitative data analysis tool. Under qualitative data analysis tool, we perform sentiment analysis, we perform bibliometric analysis, we perform content analysis, text analysis. So these kind of analysis, thematic analysis, so these kind of analysis are actually used to analyze the social media data. And under social media, e-commerce is one of the aspect. Okay, so that's how actually, so social media analytics, e-commerce analytics is mostly about qualitative data analysis. Here, you actually do not, you less focus on quantitative, you actually focus more on qualitative, because people express their views and opinions in the form of statements, in the form of words. So that is why you are not getting the numbers, you are getting the replies which are English. So English co-analyze, if you want to analyze the data which is written in the form of sentences, paragraphs, and all those things, you have to do it through qualitative data analysis.
Yeah, that's right on that, Priyanka. We can move to the next question, and I can see the impact of a good session, how it has become. The next question is from Mr. Vipin Kumar, and he's saying my background is in maths and stat. So how can I become a data analyst, or any specific course can be there? So,
sir, first of all, you are a privileged person, which we are. Actually, my education has been MBA in HR, and I have actually struggled a lot, and not struggled, I mean, I had done a lot of hard work to learn data analysis. You are actually privileged that you are having a background of mathematics and statistics, which I took some years to learn that. You already have that knowledge. So from there itself, it is very easy to catch up all these things. What you have to do is that you have to actually refer to some good books and refer to some, business case studies which are actually dealing on data analysis and all. And then I think you will be on track. So you already have a very good background. And maths and statistics are the base for the analytics people actually.
All right, we can move to the next question. And that is from Dr. Sindhu Nair. And again, all the academics will all the time can think about the paper publication. This question is related with that. So the question is that qualitative analysis do not always gather momentum in terms of paper publication for the thesis work. So what's your thought on that? That's what she's asking.
No, qualitative, I do not agree to it. Qualitative analysis also is a very good way of analyzing the data for paper publication. The only thing is that we have a very wrong conception about qualitative analysis. Qualitative analysis, what we mean is that, when we write something very theoretically, we say that we are doing a qualitative analysis. So that's not the fact. So if you are actually, just before this particular question, I was actually telling you what things comes under qualitative analysis. Like you have a sentiment analysis, you have thematic analysis, you have grounded theory approach, you have content analysis, text analytics. So if you are using these kind of analytics in your paper, then definitely it will get accepted to get published. If you think that qualitative analysis is something theoretical you do and something copy paste you do, so that will be accepted, no, that is not called as qualitative analysis. So if you are really adopting the tools and techniques of qualitative analysis, definitely it will get published. Okay. And second thing is that the machine learning tools and the AI tools, that they are the all the upcoming tools, the base of all these tools are qualitative data only. The artificial intelligence and machine learning algorithms are actually made to address the qualitative data problems only. So how can you say that qualitative data is not publishable? It is actually the most preferred way of publication. We are actually not able to do the qualitative analysis properly. That's why we are not able to publish it. Once you learn the skills, it will be rather more accepted over the quantitative papers. And if you're doing a mixed approach, that means quantity and quality both together, then sky is the limit. You give it to any particular, any journal in the world, it will get accepted.
All right, thank you. We can move to the last question. You can see on the chat box, name is not mentioned. So the question is that which tool is used for HR analytics? Please suggest.
Every tool that I have discussed, starting from MS Excel to SPSS to Python to R to everything, each of the tools that I have discussed with you, everything can also be used in HR also. Okay, so to understand, I'm already teaching HR analytics. So if you want to understand more on HR analytics, then you have to take a separate session of mine, because whatever tools I just discussed with you, everything is used for HR analytics also. Everything, starting from regression, discriminant, logistics regression, each and everything is used in HR analytics.
Can I have one more question, the final one from my end? The question is saying, can a non-technical person can become an expert in data analytics? What's your thought on that?
Yes, of course, sir.
You and me. So we are all non-technical people actually, and we have made this happen. This is out of sheer hard work and dedication. If you want to learn something, then everything is possible.
Yes, all right, Priyanka ma'am. Thank you very much for conducting a wonderful session, and also having the question answer session. We will have a lot of thought process going on that. Thank you very much for enlightening the entire session. Now, I'm very much thankful for Dr. Priyanka Mishra, today's speaker, wonderfully conducted the session and enlightening all the different areas. The way the PPT was there, everybody loved to have that PPT with them. So thank you.
Yes, of course, sir.
Thank you very much, Priyanka ma'am.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you for patient listening and all the wonderful questions that you have asked.
Thank you
for moderating the session.
Thank you, ma'am.
We had a very good.
Yes, absolutely. I must thankful to Mr. Sudhir Sharma, the President AIMS, Dr. G.K. Shivde, our own Dr. G.K. Shivde, the Regional Vice President, West, AIMS, all the board members, AIMS secretaries, and all the participants who make this session very wonderful on that. Thank you, everyone. Definitely we'll go to meet again. Thank you very much.
Thank you, everybody. Thanks.